I'm going to deviate slightly away from permafrost for a few minutes and give you a few facts about Nunavut, some of the logistical challenges, permafrost types of foundations we use, the challenges, and Nunavut Housing Corporation needs. Nunavut has a population of 33,980 people, distributed over 25 communities, with populations of between 140 and 3,300 per community, with between 7,000 and 8,000 in our capital city of Iqaluit. There are approximately 10,000 dwelling units. When I say dwelling units, I mean a single family unit is one dwelling unit, a threeplex is 3 dwellings. Okay? We have 10,000 units. Approximately 5,500 of them are public housing units. An additional 1,200 are staff housing, and there's about 1,000 leased public housing units. So there's not a lot of privately owned units. The number of units per community runs from 660 to 800, with 2,560 in Iqaluit, and Nunavut covers 1.9 million square kilometers, about twice the size of Ontario. And there are no roads in or out of Arviat, or out of Nunavut, not even ice roads. Okay. Here on the horizontal line, the red one, run from your left to right, is Pangerton on the left, or your right rather, and Kaluktuk on the left. It's a distance of approximately 1,800 kilometers. From Sanikilawak at the bottom to Grise Fjord at the top is approximately 1,850 kilometers. So, because we have no roads, we depend very heavily on sea lifts for materials. All our materials for construction, most of our groceries, all our vehicles and such come in by sea lift. The problem with sea lift is that a lot of times it goes to the communities in the fall of the year, late September, early October, and you can always run into problems at those times of years. We have 3 transport companies that do our shipping for us. NTCL leave the Delta in BC, up around Alaska to western Nunavut. NEAS, or NEAS, they leave Valleyfield in Quebec and up around Labrador to eastern Baffin Island, and now are moving into the Northwest Passage and delivering materials to the western Nunavut. The other company, the third one, is NSSI, and they are out of St. Catharines in Quebec, and again they go up through Baffin Island, Northwest Territory, or Northwest Passage through to Kaluktuk and such. With the short shipping season, we end up with problems like this. This is a house that was delivered in the summer of 2011 and into Pond Inlet, and this is October when they were working on it. Okay. Then we have problems like this that ruin everybody's day. If we miss our sea lift, or things don't get ordered in time and they have to be put off to other alternate methods, we have to fly everything in. And this is a picture of Grise Fjord. You can't really see the runway there, but it's just a very tiny runway. All that can get in there are Beechcraft and Twin Otters, so very limited on what you can bring in by air as well. We, we discovered a long time ago that by building on grade or putting skirting around our houses, that we had a detrimental effect on the permafrost, causing the thaw bubbles indicated here. So in Nunavut, we don't put skirting around it if possible. Some private individuals do, but staff, Nunavut Housing Corp does not condone it. In the past, on our multiplexes, we used to use piles, and we're getting away from piles. Very few piles go to bedrock in Nunavut. Most of them are ad-freeze, and in the past, it was traditional to put the ad-freeze piles in 10 to 20 feet into the permafrost. Now it's becoming a standard to put it 30 or 40 feet into the permafrost. Piles have a long life cycle, but we found that they were too costly for us, and we've moved away from piles. And this is some of the problems that we've run into. The bottom picture there in the circle, you can see where the pile has been cut off, and we've gone to block and wedge foundation to support that building. And the top one on the right-hand side, you can see where the pile is pushing up the steps in the front. This is the normal block and wedge system that was used prior to 1980. Basically, a cribbing or stacked blocks with wedges, and they tap them in to level up the house. And it's normally used on single-family dwellings. Around 1980, they started using screw jacks, and they are still being used today on single-family dwellings. Nunavut Housing Corp has switched to space frames for our multiplex units. This is for the space frame for a 5-plex. We now have space frames under 10-plexes, which are basically the same footprint, just 2 stories. And the space frame is twice as heavy, twice the gauge. Nunavut Housing Corp doesn't use any thermal siphons. They're primarily used on commercial buildings in the north, or in Nunavut. So we find them, the cost is too much for us to justify using them. And this is what happens when you make a bad mistake in selecting a site. Part of our problem is that because we've built so many units, good lots are hard to come by now in the communities, and we're down to getting the last of what's available. So in the top one there, there was a bit of a flood, washed the sewage tank out from underneath the building. The bottom picture is the slumping in Pangerton where it washed out the bridge. At Nunavut Housing Corp, we're looking into new technologies. The screw piles on the side there are more for sand and soft clays, but there's thoughts that we might be able to use those in the permafrost, in the active layer. This is a picture of Clyde River again. And the green area is the more stable, the yellow, the medium, and the red is the not so stable area. And as you can see, the town has used up most of the medium and is moving out into the more stable area or into the red area. So for over 40 years, we've been building houses in Nunavut. and between the two territories. Building on permafrost is not a new issue, and we can overcome it. That's it.